You know that there's been a lot of protests at Standing Rock, and today President Trump said that he would allow DAPL to continue drilling. Now, it's unclear exactly what the specifics of that are because he says he's going to continue to negotiate with them. But before, we'd shown you a video of a worker who was connected to DAPL. His name is Kyle Thompson, and he's actually hired by DAPL through the private security firm of Knightsbridge Risk Management. And he had gone into where the protesters were, heavily armed. Now, after that, something super interesting happened. Some people got him out of his car, okay? By most accounts, it seems that they blocked his way so that he couldn't escape. And the reason they did that is they said, why are you among the protesters if you're with a private security firm hired by DAPL? What are you trying to do here? So that's a very legitimate question. Why are you armed and inside the protesters' camp? Okay, now the video you're about to see is what happens once he gets out of his car. Now, if you watch the show every day, you might have seen this video before, but wait till you get to the twist at the end. Now, somebody was arrested after this. In fact, 3 people were arrested. I'm going to tell you who they were, but watch the video first. Okay, so now the guy in the red bandana with the sunglasses with the weapon, by the way, it was loaded, and earlier he was pointing it at the protesters, is Kyle Thompson. And he was turned into the Bureau of Indian Affairs at the end of this confrontation, but he has been released. He was released earlier. I'll give you the update in a second. Now, the guy talking to him right there in the hat is Brennan Nastasio, okay? He's trying to talk him down. We'll have quotes from him in a second as well. Now, there are a couple of others there in the water as well. And as you can see it with your own eyes. Nobody's pointing a weapon at him. Nobody's assaulting him. They're talking to him. It's right there. They're talking to him. And what they're trying to do is talk him down and say, hey, listen, don't point the weapon. Give us a weapon. We're going to give it to the Bureau of Indian Affairs. And they did. And then he got it back and he was released. Okay? So now you can't hear what they're saying. But obviously, if he felt threatened, he could easily put the weapon up. But he's not. And what he's going to do is he is going to do as they ask him to do, and it's going to end peacefully. So this actually could be a fantastic story, a great story of, well, it turns out he came in, they caught him. Now, they don't know what he was doing. He claims he was there to look after equipment. They were concerned that he was an instigator, and that's why he brought in the weapon. But he handed the weapon over and it ended peacefully, and story could have been over right there. Now, are you ready for what happened afterwards? Arrest warrants did go out, not for Kyle Thompson, for Brennan Nastasio, Michael Fasig, and Israel Hernandez, the guys who talked him down and ended this situation peacefully. BJ explains, I'm being charged with a Class C felony for terrorizing Kyle Thompson. I protected him, and Morton County are treating me like a criminal. He goes on to say, I kept telling Kyle I would make sure nothing happened to him if he gave me his gun. I was trying to protect him and everyone in camp. Right now, with all this police violence on the media, I knew that cops could aim to kill. I didn't want him to get shot. I just wanted him to give up the gun. So not only was he trying to protect the protesters, he was actually trying to protect Kyle. He's like, they have orders that if there's a weapon, they can shoot to kill. Kyle, put the gun down so you don't get killed. And he did. Kyle put the gun down and he was safe and he was fine. They arrested Brennan. The injustice of that is so stunning. You know what the excuse they used was? You can see he's got a knife on his hip. But wait, did he take out the knife? Did he brandish the knife? Did he threaten him? No. Does Kyle Thompson say he took out the knife and threatened him? No, to the best of my knowledge, that's not in the news at all. But it doesn't matter. You saw the video with your own eyes. Look at the injustice of that. They're going to put him in jail. It's a felony charge. They're going to ruin his life because he maintained the peace. And by the way, helped to make sure that Kyle Thompson was okay. He continues, Nastasio does, to be on Morton County's most wanted list. And that's what he was. He found out the next day. He was on the most wanted list. Sends me a message that Morton County doesn't care about the people at the camp. They would have rather let Kyle Thompson come in and shoot everybody at camp than for me to disarm him. I hope that ain't the case, Morton County. I hope they realize that I saved lives that day and dropped this arrest warrant that they have out for me. Well, they didn't, and he had to turn himself into the authorities. You wonder why we call it an injustice system here. And if that wasn't bad enough, in North Dakota, legislators are now proposing this bill that we told you about a week ago. It's House Bill 1203, and it would mitigate instances when panic drivers might have accidentally, quote, punched the accelerator rather than the brakes as protesters blocked the roads. So what they're saying is, if you see them blocking the roads, as Kyle Thompson says they were in his case, just run them over. Run them over. We got your back. We'll even pass legislation saying that that's not killing them, that we'll let you go. And Kyle Thompson pointed a loaded gun at them. We let him go. No consequence at all. The guys who disarmed him, tons of consequences. They could be going to jail. There is no justice there. We all have to unite, and we've got to fight back against injustice like this. We're going to continue to cover this story, and we're going to let you know what happens, because we can't let that stand. We can't be a country, and you know this, it doesn't matter where you are on the political spectrum. You saw the video. We can't be a country where we put the peacemakers in prison and take people who are instigating and creating violence and have the weapons and are pointing it at people and let them go. Then we're not a country of laws anymore. That's not rule of law. That's the opposite of the rule of law. The way that the North Dakota authorities have turned into paid agents of this Dakota Access Pipeline Company is outrageous and egregious. You don't work for them. You work for the citizens of North Dakota. Citizens of North Dakota, are you really comfortable watching that video and having Brendan Nastasio go to prison for that? I hope your humanity does not allow that. Get the full 2-hour show ad-free. Become a member, tytnetwork.com/join.